Looks like we finally got everything sorted out and we're ready to jump on into game number 1. Spawning in the bottom right hand position of Death Aura, it is Rise Gaming's ZEST.
It's actually a Razor Edge Gaming, right?
Razor Edge Gaming. I think so. I just saw Rye and I was like the bread?
Yeah, no, it's the acronym for Razor Edge.
I've heard of that before.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I heard of that before, but I was like not sure about it. I was like, maybe there's two, maybe this one's named Rye.
Yeah, I mean you can pronounce it both ways, you know.
Yeah.
But anyhow, here in the top left corner of the map, it is the red Terran player. You saw him in the last series. He's from Brave Star Gaming. It is Dream.
Otherwise known as Basic62 Gaming, but you know, Big Brave Star Gaming also a very acceptable alternative there. And yeah, looks like we're starting this series with a bang rather than a whimper. Snoopy, do you like what you're seeing right now?
Well, we did see in the past 2 games that Dream played, he went for the proxy racks. It looks like he's just going on that streak, you know, kind of proxy hungry or proxy.
Oh yeah.
Happy.
Oh no way! Check the vision. Oh okay, yeah, okay, totally sees it. Just barely though. Wouldn't it have been so sweet to just have never seen that? I say no, because I'm a Protoss player, but still. Would have been sick. So it is going to get scouted on that out, and we see back at home, Dream is actually taking 2 gases and filling them up ASAP, so we're going to see some very committed one-based aggression coming out from Dream. There's all sorts of builds you can do with this, and I'm really curious to see which one he wants to pick. One thing I would like ZEST to do is kind of send that probe across the map. I mean, it's really nice to have all the information, you know. Information is power here, but the bunker is going to start at the natural base as well. So definitely some very annoying things happening here for ZEST. I mean, if he defends against it, he'll find himself in a good position. That's the duality of StarCraft, you know. Cheese and get ahead or cheese and get behind, you know. It's one or the other. It's always one or the other, Snoopy.
Or cheese and drink some wine and get a good dinner.
Or cheese and drink some wine. Okay, I guess the triality of StarCraft. Not really able to catch up to this Reaper for reasons completely unknown to me. ZEST opting for the Stalkers. A little bit beefier in the defense here, but a little bit more restricted in their mobility. So things like... Oh, poor Zealot can manage to just stay there and eat some Reaper shots. Not really able to be super mobile, so we're not going to be seeing any shutdowns on these Reapers, and we're not really going to be seeing any scouting. The cancel on the shield battery goes down, and we're just seeing more and more Reapers coming out. Meanwhile, Marine production is beginning as well, and these are some very annoying Reapers. Against 2 Stalkers, though, I'm not really positive if... Oh, he accidentally popped up the wrong unit. If they're going to be able to really find that much purchase.
Oh, man, it would be so much easier right now if that shield battery was up already, but...
Oh yeah, like infinitely easier, but these are the sad beans of life, Snoopy. A Helling's gonna come in to reinforce, and I feel like Dream's is kind of making every single tech unit he can and hoping that something sticks here. 1 Stalker actually goes down, incredibly enough, and the bunker will end up going down as well, and that seems to be the end for this early game rush here for Dream. A little bit unfortunate, at least for now. As the Cyclone production has begun, and we might be seeing some shenanigans afoot yet, Snoopy.
Yeah. Do you think it's going to be for Banshees, though? I think right now he's kind of delayed ZEST by so much that I feel like a Banshee would actually be pretty good right now.
Yeah, I mean, like, unless you're, like, rushing like a Robo, you know, then you're not really going to have the necessary, like, you know, vision against that. And besides, you know, if you're ZEST and you make, like, a bunch of Stalkers, the last thing you can afford is a Stargate, right? So no Stargate, and you don't really want to be throwing down a Robo right now, I don't think, you know, because like who knows like what could be coming out here. Pink Stalker is going to give you just so much more information, and it's the more popular build nowadays anyway. So would have liked to see a Banshee, but it looks like it is just going to be a Liberator, a single Cyclone making its way zooming across those acceleration zones across the map. And I think Dream is trying to catch an Oracle or something with this. I don't really think it's going to accomplish anything, like, by itself. Yeah, I think... Okay, no. He's actually going to go ahead and poke into the natural here. Maybe lock onto the sentry? Yeah, see, there we go. Some good damage here, but there's a shield battery, and... this is the most depressing interaction I've ever seen in my life. Oh, the shield battery ran out. He overcharged it. Fantastic. Amazing play by Zest here. 10 out of 10 would take over the mothership core any day.
Well, it looks like Zest's favorite child is that Sentry. But
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, he's got to be careful, though. There is a Liberator making his way into the main base. Will he be able to pull out just...
Disgusting.
Nope. Oh, no.
Gonna lose at least 5 probes here, and the pull is actually a little bit late, so 5 probes, exactly 5 end up going down. Thank you very much. My name is Svagar, and I'm the greatest caster of our time. But yeah, Liberator harassment is so annoying. I mean, 5 probes going down, you can just sit in this dead space forever. Like, ever and ever, and never come out, and it's just the most annoying thing, but Zest has to deal with this. He wanted to play this game of StarCraft, so he is gonna play it indeed. And it looks like he is having some trouble. He's really getting to where he wants to be. I mean, Stalker's going to go ahead and try and take down the Liberator, but it is going to get 3 more probes and just going to pick itself up and zoom his on back. Meanwhile, on Dream side of the map, we do see 3rd CC pretty much already done, dropping mules and whatnot. And Zest is on equalish footing on Dream economically, but, you know, ideally you want to be at least, 5-10 workers ahead. I don't really like this position too much for Zest, Snoopy.
Yeah, as you can see in the income graph, just a big spike here for Dream. He is pretty much, ongoing with the economy here. Zest, he's just gonna try to, rely on those chrono boosts, or hopefully rely on those chrono boosts to kind of pump those probes out. But he's still gotta deal with that annoying Liberator in the back, and then there's also that potential of that move out once Dream gets his stim and his +1/1.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, the gateway explosion is coming out here from Zest, so we do see he wants to play a very gateway-focused style. This is actually, I think, a build I've seen a while ago, which we can talk about as soon as these Stalkers are done doing what they do, which is take a bunch of tank shots and kill one thing. So Zest is kind of going for that, make a gazillion gateway units and try and slap your opponent in the face build, right? You can see no forges in production. No real extra gas is being taken, so it's just these gateway units. And, really nice targeting there by Dream to pick up that Stalker. Yeah, I mean, how many gateways is this? This is 7 with 3 more about to finish on up, so it's going to be 10 gateways, a bunch of charge loss, and I think Zest just wants to end this game as soon as possible.
Oh, nice pick up there on the Raven here. That's a good start. He's going to need any little bit of help here before this I guess this big attack commences. This is pretty much it, because as you mentioned, he's not really going to commit to any more additional tech or gas on his third base. And here we go.
Oh my god, the hallucinated Archon, so genius here. The units have no detection, so they'll be forced to attack those, and Dream forced to pull the boys immediately. This is a very desperate position for him. The siege tank does go down. The army supply is dwindling. The siege tank of the high ground does go down as well. Does he have enough? The Marines are super stim in the back, but it looks like just barely they'll come out ahead, and Zest is taking a beat in this game to his army. Now Dream sacrificed a lot of workers, but Zest cut workers, so it's not even that bad. 16 workers going down, and I feel like Zest, oh man, this is pretty awkward, Snoopy, I'm not gonna lie.
He did get a lot of SCVs, but I mean, I think he needs a bit more. He's still behind in the work count. He's behind in the upgrades. The 1/1 has been finished for Dream, and right now Zest, I'm not sure exactly what Zest can pretty much do.
He can PV out. I think he heard you. He was like, yeah, you know what? He's right, dude. I can't do shit. So just gonna go ahead and drop out of that one. Poor Zest. Got a good from there. I feel like the pieces were there. He was just a little bit too disjointed, I feel like, in that engagement, Like, he could have, brought his army a little bit more together. He got a really good pick. I was really nervous for Dream, but the positioning was just too good. The splitting was just too amazing. And Zest trying to refocus everything was not exactly ideal. I actually think those hallucinated Archons might have hurt more than it helped, like stopping the padding for his charge loss and whatnot.
Yeah, and also he kind of attacked right before charge was finished. Charge finished like right when he was moving in, but already the tanks were having some nice pot shots on them. So kind of attacked that a little bit too early than he would have liked. And as you mentioned, I think I also feel the same. The Archons I feel like was kind of the wrong choice. I get the idea because you want to get those hallucinated Archons to kind of tank some of the damage, but I think it kind of hurt him more than helped him as it was blocking some of the charge lot.
Yeah, I appreciate the creativity. I always love creativity. I like fun play, but I don't know. I feel like that's kind of a little bit of a fumble there from Zest. Took a decent amount of damage from the Liberator. I think it just came down to the Liberator, man. I mean, losing 8 workers like that, you can't really be doing that, especially if you're going for a really strong push, right? But it's another game, it's another day, it's another game, and it's another day, and it's another map. It's the same players, though. So this introduction should be fairly straightforward if I do remember what is going on. Because spawning in the bottom left-hand position of Oxide, he is representing Ryzen Edge? Oh shit. Razor Edge. There we go. Razor Edge Gaming. Give it up for the Blue Protest player, Zest.
And spawning here at the top right corner of the map with a nice, decent Game 1 win. Can he extend it to 2 games in a row? From Brave Star Gaming, give it up for Dream.
Dream got to be feeling at least a little more confident after that. Lost his TVZ series pretty hard, but got a pretty good convincing win over Zest there, just keeping that very aggressive pressure on him for a big chunk of the game, and then being able to just very cleanly defend what Zest had coming for him. I feel like he doesn't really want to. I felt like he didn't really want to do the same thing last game. Like maybe he'd want to try and play a little bit more, safer, a little bit more macro oriented. But it looks like he is kind of going for the same build here. One difference being the barracks is on his side of the map rather than Zest, but he's still taking the double gas, still mining it like crazy. And I don't know. I don't think it's gonna be proxy Reapers. And yeah. Marine started and a factory should be being thrown down here, so same gas, same buildings, very different builds, Libby.
Yeah, I feel like this is kind of a little bit of a mind game here from a Dream. Kind of pretend that he's proxying, kind of raise the temperature of Zest, being afraid that he's gonna get proxy, but nope, it's actually gonna be a semi-proxy, just on Dream side of the map instead. And it's kind of
raise the temperature, Snoopy. Look at this muy caliente pylon here next to Dream side of the map. This is like, you call that a proxy? Now that's a proxy. Should be seeing a Stargate come out, maybe? I mean, looks like he's waiting for that 150 gas. And yep, proxy Stargate starts the Stalker as well. And I would love to see that chronoed and move across the map almost. See if he can throw down. One thing I liked from Creator's Games yesterday in his tournament matches was he liked to rally his Adept across the map and then just defend with probes and get a shield battery in his mineral line and wait for the next unit, so he can just get that very fast pressure on the Terran side. But neither here nor there. Zest is going to go ahead and try and scout, but the Marine denies all information, and a proxy starport a little bit closer, almost in the exact same position actually as Zest's proxy Stargate. Something poetic in that, but Snoopy, one thing's for sure, there's going to be a lot of dead workers.
Oh yeah, in the next minute or so, things are going to pick up really, really quick. And we're going to see the first couple of Hellions going to be dropped into the Zest's base. On the other side, of course, we do see the first Oracle is in production. We might actually going to see a Void Ray follow-up. I would like to actually, kind of throw down some proxy, or not proxy, or some shield batteries right in the corner edge of a Dream's base. I think that would actually be pretty dope, but we shall see.
Now you're speaking my language, Snoop. One thing for sure, though, now is the wrong time to be a worker. 4 Hellions are going to go ahead and get dropped in the main base. Zest has 3 Stalkers. He doesn't have nothing here, but probes going down very quickly here. And Oracle is going to find what damage it can. It gets 4 so far, but 8 drones already have gone out. And 2 Hellions have died, but the rest of the... Oh, he actually comes back in! He swings in for a second and doesn't actually get too much. Gets like 1 more worker, and unfortunately that's going to be the end of that. So, end of the day, 9 probes dead for Zest, 5 SCVs dead for Dream. And looks like Zest is enjoying a pretty nice 10 worker advantage, but that is not the end of it. We see a Liberator on the way as well. Actually rallied back home. I think he knows that Zest is pretty keen to the shenanigans that Dream is up to. Okay, no, he actually is going to send it back out. And the Oracle actually fights back in. No defenses here yet for Dream, and gonna actually take that to the face. So a grand total of 10 SCVs killed for 1 Oracle. And, actually, he's going to get another one. And that is actually a disaster. This Liberator, though, is finding no damage on the other side of the map. The SCV's cleaning that up, and ZEST showing us why he is one of the top tier Protosses in the world right now, Snoopy.
Yeah, definitely a favorable trade there for ZEST. I mean, he is ahead by almost 20 workers actually, and right now he can. Yeah, he's getting his third base established. I wouldn't even be mad if he just threw down the fourth base at this point. That's how far ahead he is.
Yeah, even more importantly, though, he's throwing down the Dark Shrine,
Ooh.
even though he's super ahead. So I really like this play because Dream's economy is hurting. No one can deny that. So who's going to be banking scans when you can be slamming down mules like your life depended on it, right? I mean, he has almost half the workers of ZEST here. So pretty much any aggressive play ZEST does is going to be a correct one here. Not 3 oracles. He made 3 oracles, but he only has 2, I believe. No, he only has 1. So can only really get tags and revelations down. And ZEST seems to be poised to have a very strong DT timing coming up in the works, Snoop.
Especially since Dream has yet to even start his engineering bay. It looks like he's just gonna be dying to DTs if he doesn't save any scans. But boy, this is looking really bad here for our Red Terran.
Yeah, I mean, it's a rough time to not be invisible right now, I'll tell you that. Oh, looks like Dream wants to actually kind of chase this. That's very cute. I can appreciate this play. You know what else I can appreciate, though? Capes and swords, and daggers and scythes, and just complete mayhem. Here we go. The first 2 DTs are walking on in. We have 1 scan on the... We have 2 scans on the orbitals, so we might buy him enough time, but... does he spend them on mules? No, he does not. So he's going to have 2 scans. A very important part of this build is going to be him, or his survivability is him being able to catch that a big Widowman pod on his own workers here. 1 DT in the main base is going to take on even more workers. Dream trying to drop a tank in the natural of ZEST, which, you know, I can appreciate something like that. I can't really say it's amazing, but I can appreciate it. And ZEST, content with the damage he has, doesn't want to risk losing the DT, and is going to go ahead and recall it back home.
I'm not gonna lie, I feel like he could have just stayed there, right? I mean, still no detection here. He only has 1 scan left. He's just finally throwing down his engineering bay. I think he could have actually continued the DT harass.
Yeah. I mean, you have a full scout, pretty much, of the main base and the natural base, right? You saw pretty much everything Dream was doing. I mean, I'm a terrible Protoss player, right? But if I were ZEST, like, I would be, like, warping in more DTs, trickling them in 1 at a time, really just trying to maximize the amount of havoc I can cause, and the amount of grief I can cause as Terran player. And yeah, we see that third base is already fully saturated, and ZEST has just a humongous Gateway army coming up in the works here. We see him moving out right now. I mean, Dream is going to try and make something happen. He's even an army, but the Siege Tank is going to get picked off almost immediately. Viking's not too long for this world either, I would suppose. I mean, he's just going to straight up sit and fight, and not really much Dream can do about that, especially if more DTs drop in the main base. You put the energy bay, but there are no turrets and no defenses. I mean, Dream has to be dead. I was going to say dead, yeah. And ZEST is going to go ahead and take a tied series and say, you know what, friend? Let's make it a best of 3.
Yeah. Great game there by ZEST. A little crazy in the early game, but sometimes that happens. Sometimes it comes down to build orders, and ZEST just got the better end of that stick.
Yep, ZEST got the non-poop end of the stick there, and sometimes that's all you need to not smell like poop. Alright, creating this lobby. The next map is going to be Pillars of Gold, which is going to be pretty nice. Yeah, I feel like if you drop 4 Hellions in the main base, and you lose all of them, you should be killing the entire mineral line, right, Snoopy?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I feel like maybe there are more opportunities for damage. I can't really criticize him too much. ZEST is a great player. Dream did not... did he say go? Okay, ZEST said go. Okay. Didn't want to prematurely start the lobby there. But yeah, I feel like, 4 Hellions dropping in the main base, it was a little bit delayed. The Stalkers were already in position to kind of swat it away. I feel like how far away he placed the factory was a big detriment to him as well. I feel like the extra 5-10 seconds it took the Hellions to drive on over was a little bit of a detriment, and he also went for 4,
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know. It is what it is, and Zest just got the better end of it. And it's a new day, it's a new game, it's a new map. So let's go ahead and introduce our not new players, spawning in the top right-hand position of Pillars of Gold, representing Raise Your Edge Gaming. It is Zest.
And spawning here at the bottom left corner of the map, hailing from Korea, representing Team Brave Star Gaming, it is Dream.
You know, is it just me, or does Raise Your Edge sound too suspiciously like Razor Edge to be unintentional? Or to be not unintentional. I feel like someone said, why not just boot white? I feel like there's a miscommunication at some point, right? Like some intern was like, oh, what about, Razor Edge Gaming? And they were like, fine, yes, Razor Edge Gaming. And the guy overhearing it wrote around Raise Your Edge, and now they're stuck with Razor Edge.
Yeah.
That's my conspiracy theory anyway.
Well, imagine if they had Razor Edge Gaming, they could have gotten a nice sponsorship by a Razor company or something, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Razor Edge Gaming, sponsored by Gillette and every other Razor manufacturer. Keep your StarCraft skills as sharp as the new Gillette Pro A1000. Cost $10 a head to play. I don't know. Disposable razors are still expensive. Speaking of expensive, this isn't a nice engineering blade block coming out for Dream here. It's going to delay the natural base by a pretty sizable margin. I don't understand why more turn planes don't do this. It's so nice. And it's so cheap too. An engine bay is like what? It's like 75 minerals or like 100? I always forget, but it's one of those two numbers, I'm pretty sure. And it delays the protest rate by so much. I mean, like, it's going to be like a solid 30-40 seconds before he's going to be able to get this natural down, and it costs an extra 100 minerals just for Zest to make that zealot, so it's so worth it. Guys, if you're a Terran player out there, just do it more often. I think it's so cool.
Yeah, we haven't really seen this for the most part of Legacy of the Void. I feel like Beyond has kind of brought it back into the meta, and I've seen a lot more Terran goes for this. And oh, it looks like the Reaper will potentially get the pro, but nope. Stalker does thwart that off. But you know what? That Reaper didn't scout this little proxy gateway here in the front. And
oh, neither did I actually.
Yeah.
Good distraction. Got the casters. Yeah. Oh, did he? No, cuts the gat. Oh no. Okay, yeah.
Oh, there we go. He finally sees it.
It's a love shot, and it's like, all right, get out of here. I thought that would be obscured by the mist actually, but it looks like there's some weird interaction where he could see the gateway but not the pylon.
Yeah, really weird.
I think it's something weird, like the gateway is like technically not completely behind the gas or like the vents, so he could see it. Maybe it was a misplaced. I'm not sure. But whatever the case is, Dream kind of knows what's going on. We see bunkers coming down on the ramp, and Zest is gonna find a whole lot of nothing with this aggression. Big old nothing burger.
Oh! That Reaper will.
Oh, he can do it. If he can do it, and he did. He's gonna get himself the zealot too, isn't he? Oh, maybe no. There's a stalker. He's so smart. Dream is smart. Ooh, 3 adepts being worked on the inn as well. Is Zest continuing this? I thought for sure this would be abandoned. But it looks like he thinks there's still damage to be found. He's gonna go ahead and shade on in to the natural base right on top of a widow mine. Good morning, adepts, and good night. One adept going down immediately, and the third one and the second one should be cleaned up as well. And it's a rocky start to game number 3, Snoopy.
Yeah, getting his Nexus or the Natural denied for quite some time, and then also losing a bunch of units for pretty much no gain, right? So, yeah, Dream is enjoying a really nice little start here.
I mean, this is interesting. Do you remember this build? I mean, for me, I haven't been super up to date, but I remember this as a really old build where you go Resonating Glaives Adepts, and you just always keep pressure at the natural, and like you just threaten to kill them while you take your third, you know? And I feel like I haven't seen it in a long time, but Zest is the guy to kind of recycle old builds as soon as he feels like the timing is ready, you know? And I definitely feel like there's a lot of damage to be done here. Again, it's upper ramp, Dream is walled off. It's going to be hard to really find anything here, but Zest feels like he can make something happen. Keeps warping in, he wants to commit to this more, and I'm really curious to see what he has in stock for us.
Oh man, I just don't like this idea because, again, that wall up is going to really prevent the adepts from getting on top of the army, and really, pretty much, I don't think he can actually break it. Even with those glaive adepts, doesn't really have quite the firepower, I don't think, to kind of break through. But anyhow, well, I guess we'll see.
I guess we will see. I mean, maybe the plan is to just get enough, hope it's a secret, and then like surprise Dream. But I don't know. I feel like Dream doesn't fully understand the implications of what's going on. He has to now. I mean, the Raven is going to be good against these adepts regardless. I mean, they're going to be able to. Oh, actually, expecting the armor shredder to come out here. That would have been pretty nice. But the adepts are already going to bust down the bunker. They're going to go ahead and try and shade them up. The sieging the siege tank is definitely an idea. And it's going to be a good one at that. More SCVs are going to go ahead and fall, but the SCVs, the adepts rather, are all getting cleaned up here. And 15 workers actually end up going down towards the tail end of that. Did you catch that? I mean, I felt like he lost 4, and then all of a sudden, all at once, he lost 11.
Yeah, I think the splash damage of the tanks kind of killed pretty much a lot of the SCVs, weakened SCVs. So I gotta admit, this is more damage than I expected Zest to get. So
I think it's more damage than Zest expected to get. You gotta be a little surprised. You're like, seriously? Like, but yeah, poor Dream there. I feel like that was definitely an avoidable death there. All those SCVs. I mean, imagine having 11 more SCVs right now, tied with the Protoss player on economy, have much better technology at your disposal. Would have been great. But you know, Dream is still in it. He's playing a roughly even, if not slightly behind the game at the moment. But the real power is going to be in this army that he has. He's going to have stim and combat shields and a gazillion Marines, as well as a Raven, to see if he can try and deny that third base here from Zest. Zest, knowing it's a point of contention, should probably try and reinforce this a little bit more. We'll have to see at least 2, maybe even 3 shield batteries. Definitely want to see... okay, Blink is an option. I was thinking more along the lines of... Actually, no, I guess you're gonna have to have Blink, right? But definitely skipping some corners, cutting some corners, like no Robo. I feel like he knows that if he kind of goes for Robo, it's too slow and he's just gonna die to Dream. And when you're up 30 armor supply about the 7-minute 30-second mark, as Dream, you gotta be at least a little bit happy. He's just gonna try and poke forward with these Stalkers here, trying to delay the push as much as you can. Forces a siege, it's exactly what you want to see, it's as much as you can hope for. Stalker is actually going to move on into the natural base of Dream. A very cutesy play here, and they're just going to blink away, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, right now, Zest needs to buy as much time as possible because he's trying to research that charge upgrade. That charge upgrade is going to be really helpful against what Dream has. Oh, but he's got his Stalker corner. He's going to have to recall. Does he have recall? Oh no!
I'm not sure. I think he doesn't have the energy in any of his nexuses to recall, and Zest just doesn't want to play it out. GG is called, and Dream is put on game point against Zest, one of the best in the world, actually. That was a rough game if you're Zest, huh?
Yeah, I feel like the idea was to recall, but I think he just doesn't have energy at the time. So I mean, that's kind of unfortunate there.
These are the sad beans of life, Snoopy. It's we're gonna be faced with them more times than we could ever possibly care to count. Oh, Taiwan server. Don't want Taiwan. Korea. I did it again. Here we go. But yeah, I definitely feel like you know, if you're Zest, I mean, I feel. See, he got the damage with the adepts is the weird part, right? That's the weirdest part of the whole thing, was that it wasn't even that bad for him. He got 14 SCVs, he lost a decent chunk of his army. I guess that must have been the main thing, huh? He just lost too much army, but he traded it out too, so I don't really understand. I feel like his early aggression just didn't really accomplish everything that I wanted to. And the fast third base and the big macro strong play, the big like push toward getting those upgrades, getting those siege tanks, it was just too much for Zest, I think.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, you know, Dream did have a nice little lead there in terms of the economy. So I think Zest needed to, even though he got 15 workers, I think he just needed a bit more, because you got to remember, when you go for the glaive adept timing by the Protoss, you know, you're committing to it, and so you know you're gonna be a bit behind in terms of the other tech. You know, as you can see, he did try to transition to Blink Stalkers, but he didn't really have you know a lot of upgrades up and running as well. He only had like 1 forge on the way, so yeah, he just didn't really have any answer for the counterattack that Dream was preparing for.
That's true. Glaive Adepts definitely aged like a fine cheese here in PvT, and I don't know. I feel like it just didn't get the damage needed to be done. I think he was trying to kill. Maybe he was like looking for more of a killing blow. I'm not sure. What I am sure of is that he has one last chance to bring it all back, because spawning in the top left-hand position of Romanticide, representing Razor Edge Gaming or Razor Edge Gaming, the world may never know, it is the blue Protoss player, ZEST.
And spawning here at the bottom right from Bravestar Gaming. He himself doesn't need any razor as he is cleanly shaven. Give it up for Dream.
Yeah, his defense was too clean. Well, okay, well, the siege tank killed 11 workers, but it was still pretty clean to really need any razor. And Zest gotta be at least a little sweaty here. I mean, I think he doesn't really want to try anything too aggressive now. He's had like a bad experience with that, and I feel like, you know, the games haven't been super long, right? He's never really gotten like, you know, big, you know, late game tech, you know, mid game Colossus disruptors. I think we even just like barely saw a Warp Prism, and that was like the only Robotech we've ever seen this series. So I would love to see Zest go for something a little bit slower. Like ideally though, like ideally, Void Ray Colossus, just throwing it out there, could be a good last ditch effort. I'm just saying. But if not that, Storms are a great option. I feel like Zest loves his gateway units right now, but I feel like Storm would be nice. And as I say that, look at what we have here in the north-hand side of the map. Snoopy, what is that?
You know what? Just him exploring around, maybe setting up a base where he can just mine, or just it could be.
Better macro.
You're just there just to, you know, try to see if you can make some friends with any wild animals. Nope. It's gonna be
No, just target. Because I was gonna be like, you know, threw down a Nexus, and it's like, why? Because it's like, oh, you know, you're gonna mine them eventually, right? Why not start now? It's gonna get there, you know, just starting early. You know, you get an edge on everyone. He's just raising his edge against the late game. And he gets the Reaper. So no scout on the Stargate. Did he even see that there was a pylon missing? Let me go ahead and check that real quick. And no, he didn't really get to explore the base that well to know if that was the case or not. So Dream in for a world of pain here in game number 4, it looks like.
Yeah, unless he can get some Widow Mines in place, or maybe a Cyclone now. Although he is getting, he's getting a Tech Lab on that factory. So if he does go for that Cyclone, maybe he can, you know, thwart off the Orko. But that's a big. Oh, there we go. He does make it.
Yeah, it's honestly coming down to whether or not the Cyclone's gonna make it out in time. I think it's gonna pop out just a little bit too late. Maybe the Oracle's gonna grab 3-4 kills in that meantime, but I think the Marines are gonna buy enough time for that, honestly. And Zest is gonna just zoom right across the map with it. Let's see if he can find it. Meanwhile, on his side of the map, he is just going for Twilight and a couple more gateways, so he has a plan after this, but, you know, of course you do, but it's not going to do as much damage as I think he would have hoped. 3 workers is something, but the Cyclone is popping out, Snoopy, and there's not really much left to do with this Oracle other than just kind of fly around and look pretty.
Yeah. Well, the good thing about Oracle is that even if you don't get any, you know, major SCV kills in the beginning, you know, they're still really useful towards the mid game. I mean, you get those revelation, you know, spot where the army is. You can get plant some stasis ward, maybe even a stasis ward at the dirt base to kind of delay the dirt base of a Dream. Very, very useful in terms of a spellcaster.
Absolutely, yeah. A ton of utility is always packed into these Oracles, man. One of my favorite Stargate units out there. But yeah, I mean, Zest taking a very quick third base. I guess he just wants to try and see if he can make some more magic happen. I mean, he sees that the third base of Dream is pretty much done as it is right now. So, gonna not have too much of an economic lead that way, but he's at least gonna be on an equal footing. And neither Dream nor Zest really can have anything too advantageous over each other right now. Zest has more workers, but it's kind of to be expected with Chrono Boost and, you know, all that nonsense, and not to mention the early damage that was inflicted upon him. And it looks like he's actually doing a very similar build to what we saw in game number 1, where he just makes a bunch of gateway units and just kind of moves across the map. Right now, he's just doing the same thing with stalkers. Just gonna go ahead and poke at the front here. Not gonna be able to get high ground vision without that Oracle. But I definitely love playing stalkers in PBT. I think they're so versatile, and you can just do so many things with them, right?
Yeah, they're still one of the most go-to builds and openings from Protoss, and this is the reason why on bases like this where the surface area is really wide for him to blink into, he's gonna go ahead and blink on top of it.
Yeah, speaking of blink into, he's gonna go ahead and zero fear jump on top of that army. I think not even Dream knew that was coming. Widowmine shot is gonna go ahead and connect, but it's already looking pretty rough, and reinforcement should be working on in sometime soon. He does force the stim out, and the units are forced to blink on off of the high ground in a hurry. But 10 SCVs going down, not bad damage at all, Snoop. And I feel like Dream is caught a little bit with his pants down here.
Yeah, I mean, he's still got a lot of stalkers left over. He can go on and dive in once again. He still has that Oracle to give him high ground visions. Bunker those down. That's going to be making it a bit more difficult for him, for Dream, to defend against this. He's going to have to park his army in the correct area.
And look, even more stalkers warping on in, now going up to a pretty dangerous stalker ball. Consists of 17 stalkers. He's going to go ahead and trade pretty efficiently against his bio as well. Gonna lose a stalker, and now the medevacs are getting targeted down to really take the wind out of Dream's sails. Can he hold it? Does he have enough? The Marauders are really punishing against these bad boys, so I don't suspect it'll happen for too much longer. But yeah, a little rough stuff to hold on to if you're a Dream.
Yeah, it's getting to a point where it's a bit snowbally. It might just go towards ZEST moment. Kind of the momentum going to go towards that side, and you're just going to go overwhelm the Terran here. SCV pulled once again. Oh man, those medevacs just run out of energy so quickly.
Oh yeah, when you're constantly getting barraged by stalker shots, I mean, there's not really much you can do. And look, even more reinforcements coming on in, and I think these zealots are really the missing key, the missing piece of the puzzle here for ZEST, and this should be the killing blow if I were to guess. There's one last effort to be made here, but all of his workers are dying, and him too. GG is called, and I think we have a series on our hands.
Yep, 2-2, and we're heading into game number 5 to decide who will take victory on this series. It's going to be a close one here.
A very close one indeed, on one of the most loved/hated maps of this map rotation so far. It's going to be Jagannath, Jaga whatever. Moves like Jagannath. And yeesh, I can see why they put this off for the last one. It's a big old honking map, you know. There's acceleration zones everywhere. It's really, really weird. This is my impressions when I see it. You know, it's just a little bit crazy. But I think it's definitely a very fun map at the very least, right? And it's a fan favorite, I would say. Just with the size, you get to see nice, big, long, epic games. Accelerated zones are always a little bit of fun. So I'm very excited to see how this is going to turn out.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those maps that is pretty exciting for the observer, for the viewers, I feel like, rather than the players, because sometimes those acceleration zones kind of play in hand in those engagements, but I mean, yeah, definitely going to be interesting to see how this game goes. I wouldn't put off the potential of ZEST going for that proxy void round this map. There's still a potential there.
Dear God, please give a tired StarCraft 2 caster a break. Amen. Spawning in the top right-hand position of Jagannatha. He is representing Raise Your Edge Gaming. It is the one, the only, the ZEST.
And spawning here at the bottom left corner of the map, you see red Terran player from BraveStar Gaming. He has one dream, and one dream only, to win this game and claim victory against ZEST. Can he do it, guys? It is Dream.
No proxies or anything so far. Very normal build coming out from Dream. I'm still holding out hope for those proxy void rays. If he gets another gas, it's still doable, but something tells me I might have to get used to being not disappointed. What is this probe doing? What is his name? Oh, I guess his name is look for the barracks and then go back in the main base. Junior. But that kind of sucks. So it looks like we're going to be strapped in for at least, if not a long game, a longer than 4 minutes game. Jagannatha, let's go ahead and talk about it real quick, right? So lots of accelerator zones all over the map. Very, very big, spacious map. Lots of really nice opportunities for big macro games. One of the most interesting things, I guess, about it is just how many ramps it has. I mean, pretty much even your 4th and 5th bases are going to be defended, if not by reps, and at least by very narrow choke zones, leading to accelerator zones, you know? So it's a very defensible map, especially if you go for splash damage like Colossus, or if you're Dream Siege tanks.
Yeah, that could definitely be a possibility. I mean, if you can, if Dream can kind of park the tank right on, like, you know where the Reaper jump point is into the main base, if he can kind of can park his tank there and kind of do a little slow push or something. I mean, although the main base is quite large, and hold that thought, there is a little bunker here being placed here on the behind the mineral lines. Gonna go ahead and provide some protection for that Reaper. Is the Reaper on the way?
Reaper is on the way, and Reaper is actually in the main base right now. ZEST going for that Stalker, and the pilot on the low ground probably indicates a shield battery will be tossed on down there. And yeah, I think his goal is just to take as little damage from this as possible, which is always the case when you're facing off against some sort of early aggression, but just keeping the Stalker in the main base, not willing to send it down and cancel the bunker, just kind of tells me that he just doesn't want to lose a single probe here, and I think he's going to accomplish that fairly well.
Yeah, in the meantime, we do see that ZEST has planted a proxy Stargate once again. However, I don't think it's going to be for Void Rays. I think it's going to be for Oracles. Oracles has worked out really well for him in the past few games, so I wouldn't be surprised for him to just, he's going to go ahead and start producing that Oracle.
My dreams have been crushed, and my disappointment is immeasurable, Snoopy. It's okay. I'm still happy with Oracles. Widowmines are already out for Dream, which is kind of rough if you're a proxy Oracle. But, you know, I hope that at least ZEST finds a little bit of damage with it, but that's a very well hidden not siege tank. You're not a siege tank. I mean, kind of like a reverse siege tank, right? I mean, siege tanks hit stuff on the ground and splash, and Widowmines just kind of shoot once into the air. Or the ground, I guess. You know what, bad analogy. Let's just forget the whole thing. Oracle coming on in, killing 3 SCVs, probably a 4th one, and doesn't fly into the Widowmine. Pretty nice jukes and jives there, and 3 SCVs do end up going down, so not a bad start from the proxy Stargate for ZEST.
Yeah, to be honest, if that was me, I might have actually dived onto the Widowmine, try to use the splash damage on those SCVs. I think there was like 2 SCVs that was low in life. One of them mining the gas, one of them in the minerals. But it's hard to say. I mean, because you definitely don't want to lose that Oracle, because even if you don't get that initial or the last SCV kill, like, you can potentially, you know, come on later on and get it. So it's sometimes it's a hard call.
Yeah, but ZEST is definitely better making them than me. I mean, if that was my Oracle, like, it would have turned on its beam onto itself and it would have killed itself. I mean, it's bad. I am no trap, I am no SOS, I am no ZEST. My Oracle control is just alright. But speaking of alright, this scout on this medevac full of Widowmines, they both know they can't really hurt each other, so they're just kind of awkwardly following each other around. And ZEST, meanwhile, is going for that same old blink pressure on this map. He's gonna go ahead and see if he can like poke Dream down a little bit. It looks like he's walking back and then walking back, which is forward. So I'm not really sure if he really understands what he wants to do. It looks like he just wants to stay defensive against the Widowmines. Can't really fault him for that. I mean, no one wants to get blown up by Widowmines, right? Imagine going out like that. That would just be depressing. Oh
yeah, that's not a death that you want in your hands. But here we go. Looks like Dream's gonna go ahead and dive on in here. Let's see how many pros he can get. Absolutely zero.
I was just like counting down the timer for Blink, and I was like, as soon as it reaches 0, he's just gonna
That must feel so good. I mean, as as a Protoss player, like that always feels good when you can snipe off a medevac full of Widow Mines.
Oh yeah, that shit. It just feels good in your soul. You feel like you're like cleansing the world of like the disgusting, nature of like Widow Mines. Just like ugh. Yeah, it's like mopping it up, right?
Oh yeah.
Oh man, I feel good about myself. All right, I mean, like even I didn't do that, and I feel good. Sorry for any of the Terran players out there, though. Let's see. One of the first and very rare robotics facilities coming out for ZEST here. Not for splash damage, mind you, but just to reinforce his push. It looks like he wants to do the same thing as he did game number 1, where he just kind of makes a gazillion gateway units and just kind of hopes for the best, which, I mean, if history has taught us anything, always hope for the best, and if the best doesn't happen, just kind of suppress that and wait for later. And it looks like a very strong push. Actually, an Immortal coming out. So maybe he wants to play it a little bit slower, but definitely a very gateway-focused style coming out for ZEST.
Oh, ZEST might potentially get a good cancel on this command center. If he can get that, that would be huge.
Oh yeah, that's gone. Why do you build it there, Dream? I don't understand. What do you have to gain from building it? And he rebuilt it in the exact same location. I see what's going on. He doesn't like us. I think he just wants to give us as much of a headache as possible. Why build the CC all the way out there? If you build it in your main, you can just float it over super easily too. I don't understand. It's okay though. Many things I don't understand. And it looks like though ZEST is going to be able to enjoy being an entire base up on Dream for a little bit longer. I feel like Dream doesn't really have any crazy plans right now, and I feel like ZEST, knowing that he was able to get the cancel, you can see he kind of switched up his playstyle a little bit. He's getting more gases and he's getting a robotics bay, and he's also getting blown the hell up by Widow Mines. Now photon cannons are doing their darndest, but the Widow Mines still go off and get 21 drones. I'll try to be quiet because he's speaking, but 21 drones? Oh my god. I'm 21 years old, Snoopy. I mean, that's drone. Probe. That's one probe for each of my birthdays.
Oh,
that's creepy. I'm getting old, by the way. Jesus. But that's gotta feel at least a little good.
My heart breaks here for ZEST. I mean, he was pretty much in control, but losing that many workers. I mean, the good thing is that he has that that additional base for quite a long time. He's got the 4 up and running or being made at the moment. That's going to provide him some extra chrono boost energy to at least potentially crawl himself out of this worker deficit. But yeah, that was a really great Widow Mine drop for Dream.
Oh, fantastic. Like I've been saying, you only really need one of them to work, and it doesn't even matter that his third base is just getting established. His army is nice. His upgrades are on point. He's got +2, +1 on the way, which is, at the very least, matching the Protoss player. And yeah, his army is looking fantastic. And ZEST, I think he only has, 1 Colossus out? I mean, he has double Robo, so, 3 should be out here momentarily. But I feel like Dream is poised to take a very strong stance coming into this mid game.
Yeah, for sure. We do see ZEST adding in that Templar Archive while he's getting the Colossus. He's definitely going to need a lot of splash damage units in his army composition, because right now he is a little bit behind on the army supply. He needs something to kind of even it out, and I think if he can get some Archons or Storms or anything along with those Colossus with the Thermal Lance, then he should be alright.
I think so too. Oh, so something funny just happened. Like, you see, there's like a pylon over here at at ZEST quasi other third base location. He literally just warped in a zealot, rallied it right to the Widow Mine, and it was so slow and agonizing. Like, it took 12 seconds, and I knew exactly what was gonna happen because of the rally point, and I was like, oh my god. Then Zell just warped in, walked into the Widow Mine, and blew up. It was just there's something about that which just kind of tickled me fine. But anyways, let's move forward. More photon cannons on the way here for ZEST. I really like this. Getting Templar at every base to just kind of shut down drops. I feel like ZEST really is trying to show that he can macro too. He wants to face Dream in a macro game. Dream has his Ghost on out. He doesn't really have a strong answer to Colossus, but I think ZEST, yeah, he only really built 2, so it's not a super concerning count, and he already switched on over to Disruptors. So, gonna be curious to see. I mean, I feel like if Dream takes the fight right now, it might be a mistake. Or it could be a really good option, actually. The army supply is definitely favoring him, but I don't know. I have to see. He's going to go ahead and stem him on forward. A Sacrificial Marine does see that there is, while a kind of a sparse-looking army, a very technologically advanced one. Maybe a couple of EMPs can shut this down. Who knows? But meanwhile, at the 4th base location, a smattering of Marines end up going on down, and they draw a lot of weapons there. So maybe that could just be the little push that Dreams need to take this engagement, and looks like it's not. On the alternate 3rd base location, ZEST is going to defend that pretty comfortably. And he's starting to max out, get more DPS, or rather more splash units as well. 2-2 is on the way, more gateways, and I feel like we should take a quick lean back in our chairs, snuggle in, maybe take a sip of our tea, and get ready for the long haul.
Yeah, it's very much looking like we're about to head into our longest game of the series. Yeah, both of them are just kind of laid back, just building up. I do like ZEST's army composition a bit better, especially since he has 3 splash damage potential in his army. If he, of course, adds in that high tempo with the storm. Well, on the other side, we do see that Dream does have a couple of ghosts, just not a lot of Vikings though.
Yeah, he's only really starting Viking production right now, and it's off of 1 Stargate, so it's extraordinarily unimpressive, like impressively unimpressive. It's impressing how unimpressed I am by these 2 Vikings. I mean, he might as well just, like, you know, not made anything, and it would have been better. But let's see, he's gonna go ahead. ZEST thinks he has a good opportunity here. A lot of Marines are gonna get shredded by these Colossus. You can already see all the damage put on to those bad boys, but can't really bust the ramp. But ZEST really wants to try something, maybe just a slow siege with Disruption Novas, and actually a brilliant move there, throwing them through the acceleration zones makes them harder to react to. I gotta love to see that, but looks like you can't really do too much else there. The Fleet Beacon is on the way, as well as the 2nd Cybernetics Core, so if I am correct, we may get our Void Rays after all, but more probably just some carriers.
Yeah, I would definitely love for him to get some carriers. If you can get, enough carriers before the Terran can get enough Vikings, I think that, that really kind of helps. At the very least, you should be able to snipe down one of the bases here, but yeah, it looks like Dream is gonna have to at least start scouting that in order to throw down a 2nd or 3rd starport to get those Viking production up and running.
Oh look, Dream I think sees this observer on the left-hand side. He was spotted, and ZEST unfortunately was able to respond to that. And Dream kind of abandoning that. I think he's waiting for a scan or something. He has one. I don't know. Maybe he doesn't see it. Maybe just stop. Oh, scans the wrong place actually. Heartbreaker. But yeah, as you can see, 4 carriers in production for ZEST, as well as even more warp gates. I think it's going to go up to 16 in total, which is just a ludicrous amount of warp gates. And yeah, spending all of his money. We are in it for the long run, in it to win it. And Dream is going to have to show what he got here. I would have no other way to end off our series movie.
Yeah, I mean, what an epic way to close out this game at number 5 to determine who will be able to pull out the win here. But oh, do we see a nuke? Yeah, we do.
Oh, even I can't see that. Where is it?
I think it.
Oh, I guess it got killed, huh? Well, that's that. Okay, there we go. Here we go. Big nuke strike coming down on that 3rd base location. Meanwhile, Dream is no fool. He knows that attacks are best served simultaneously, just like a bad waiter bringing out my appetizer, dessert, and main course. And just like that, 14 probes get destroyed.
Oh no.
We use nukes, ladies and gents. And oh look, he's even gonna hide this ghost over here. And I don't think the photon cannon can see that. Oh, it's so cute. And ZEST has to be so annoyed right now. There's gonna be a lot of fires for him to put out, and I feel like ZEST, he's gonna have a strong army, but he might not have a strong economy after too long. Once Ghost does go down to that Disruption Nova shot, and Dream, I'm digging this. He's nuking it down. He's got a couple of Ghost Academies. It's going to be a big one landing in the natural, if that is correct, I think. Yeah, no, he is going to get killed, but the multi-pronged harassment. Oh, the storm on the ramp, though, to deny that. So ZEST, no fool, definitely knows how to keep his bases covered. Ooh, nice dodge there by Dream. Yeah, I feel like Dream can't really find much of any damage at all. He's trying every single side here, and it looks like he finally is going to find something here. EMPs the shield batteries, and then 10 carriers come by and say, yeah, no, I think you're done with that. And Dream has to agree. One very brave Ghost is going to die as well, and Dream forced to run back to his side of the map. Zest now on the offensive here, and I think Dream may not have the appropriate technology to deal with this, Snoopy.
Yeah, I mean, that is a lot of carriers, guys. That is a total of 8 carriers. And so right now, I mean, Zest can just pretty much walk across the map, not really having to worry too much. Now, there is a decent amount of Vikings. I'm not sure if that's quite enough, though. I don't feel like it is.
No, it's more like a fog of Vikings, and you really need like a cloud, you know, like a cumulonimbus cloud of Vikings.
Yeah,
I haven't heard of that in a while, but here we go. He is going to go ahead and try and poke forward with those Vikings. 14 probes going down to the nukes, undoubtedly somewhere on the opposite side of the map, but the army from Zest is not really dying. He's going to go ahead and attack the planetary fortress, zone him out with all the possible splash damage in the world. He's got storms, he got disruptors, he got colossus, he's got it all, Snoopy. And I think he might actually got this game if Dream doesn't do something to stop this push. I mean, I feel like this desperation mode right now, he doesn't really have much of anything. A big wave of Vikings looks finished though, and we are starting to get into that storm cloud level of Vikings. A nice disruption Nova, getting a good connection there. And I feel like he's gonna have to try and just make it go and make it happen, but he's just bleeding supply every time he goes in.
Yeah, you gotta wonder, maybe it's better for him to just go for a base trade. I mean, I just don't see him winning against a straight up fight.
Especially not standing in those storms. I think Dream knows it too. He might have not played this super correctly. The micro in the last couple of moments has just been not really where he wanted to be. Down 100 supply now. That's going to be it. GG is called, and Zest will take it just barely 3-2 over Dream.